What's up? This is Bo. Bo knows. It's been a while. I'm back. Um, took a break. Took a break. Couldn't wait to come back. Chill with you guys. Get this thing back cracking. And this time I won't be taking a break. I'm tired of the breaks. I'm just tired. So we're about to get into like this official story time. And I'm gonna like take you guys through a journey, like a real deal journey. Um, I'm gonna, you know, give you guys like an insight into like some of the things I do. I find my life to be kind of comical, very comical. Um, Sometimes people are like, "Hey, you could be a comedian." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna keep my day job." Um, like I don't know, like, but I have been uh honored and kind of like I have been blessed, not honored, but I've been blessed to kind of have the power of discernment like over my life. I've been, and with that being said, no, I'm not rich. Yeah, I'm still looking for things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, however, whatever. But I wanted to give you guys like a story time about like how I got into the production industry, how I started working in TV and film and, like, and that's my passion now. So let me give you a story time. Probably like 5 years ago, I had, well, farther than 5 years ago, like right before COVID, beginning of COVID, like I stopped like working the traditional job. I had like, I have a degree. Like I have a degree in business, a bachelor's degree in business management, minor in marketing. I've been in the army like 10 years, patient administration specialist there. I'm kind of like all around business guy, business mindset, entrepreneur mindset, like hustler, go getter, 5 plus 5 is 10 type guy. That's me. By the books. Um, that's me. So that was my life before entering into this, but uh throughout my whole college life, I kind of was on a how can I put it? It was kind of like I was trying to see what my trajectory would be. So while going to school, like I always worked like little mom pop small gigs, like production gig, contract gigs, like work this month, here's 10 bands, you like those kind of gigs. Like, so I had already been introduced into the life of like a hustler, 1099 worker, a freelance worker. Like I had come from that because my roots were kind of embedded in that, because when I started working, that's how I was working. And then after school, I went to the more traditional jobs. Like I went work, for corporations. I went work for small businesses. Like I was kind of using my degree. And then um I I just got tired of making people rich and saying, "Oh my gosh, this is all I'm making." And I went back to what I kind of knew. And then I was like, wow, it's this TV thing over here, like movies. Like I can go be a background extra and make, $180 a day for 12 hours. So I started like being an extra for a while. In between of like, the the conventions and the trade shows. Then I like found like these other positions. So I was always like back and forth, but most so in the traditional setting, and I was phasing out of like the freelance setting, if that makes any sense. So um at the end, like I got furloughed, COVID, and I was like, now I'm just gonna be a freelancer now because these companies don't care about you. They'll let you go, they'll fire you, anything. And that's how that was. So basically, after COVID, I started back, with the movies. But now I was like background again, background extra. And then also I was stand-in. And then like I was a stand-in for this show. I was like the run of the show, the main character stand-in. I worked it for like almost 3 months. Then like at the end of that, I was like I had an epiphany. And I was like, I no longer want to be in front of the camera. I want to be behind the camera. Like that's where money is, like that's more stable. Like that's power, for me, being that I do have that business mind setting, like that's what was gonna make sense for me. So that's exactly what I did. Like I went, I manifested. I was like, God, this is what I want to do. I was telling my friends about it, and other friends was like, hey, well, I'm gonna go to accounting. We were all making, we were all talking about leaving from being stand-ins to going to the next level, like a PA in accounting, a PA in production. And I always wanted to do production. I had like two of my friends, Jada, Jackie, my cousins, we all were stand-ins on this show. They wanted to go into accounting. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be in production, y'all. So literally, the show ended and an opportunity came. Like there was a random guy from the same city, like New Orleans, from my area. Didn't even know them because New Orleans is not New York, but everybody don't know everybody. Like, and I'm one of those people who don't know everybody like in my area. Like I never have, never will. I always been quiet, never, never. So I didn't know the guy. Hit me up on social media and was like, hey, I'm working on this job and my boss wanted someone else. Are you interested? And I'm thinking like, hell yeah. I never been a PA. I've been working around a lot of PAs. I know like kind of what they do, but I don't. I'm smarter than a fifth grader. So I kind of know I can get on the job and do what I need to do. And like I hit them up and they give me the information for their boss. I give their boss my information. They're like, hey, could you start tomorrow? I'm like, yes. I'm like, I want this. This is my first job in reality TV. First job. And I'm like, yes. And then it's with like a major TV, network, TLC. It's a show that I have seen advertised on TV. I haven't really watched it because I don't really watch a lot of TV. But I know this is TV, TLC. Reality TV. And I'm like, and it's a week. The pay was like, I can't remember the pay. I want to say it was probably like $372. It was like $275, $300 a day. So it's like you would get. I think we were getting like $250 for 12, but we were working more than 12-hour days, and anything over 12-hour days is overtime. So I probably made on average like $300 a day for 7 days. So that's like $2,100. So and it's my first show. That I'm like working. So like I'm looking at the numbers, like I had never did it, and I was like honored that I had been given the chance to go on here. And little did I know that reality is broken down different from scripted. So if you have scripts and you have a bigger budget, or no matter how much the budget, like you got bigger departments, you have money to put more people places. When it's reality, kind of like really, really skeleton crew. Not a lot of people on the crew. Probably between, well, it depends on what type of reality. Is it local or it's just all the reality I've been on? A lot of it has been very small crews. Like sometimes they will have a department with like 2 or 3 people. Sometimes it won't. But you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 15 people on the crew compared to scripted. You're looking at anywhere from 50 to 300, 400, even 1,000 people working on the show. So I'm like, on reality, it's small. We only have like 5, 6 people working. And now that means everything that we have to do or get done, if I don't do it, or my coworker's gonna, like, who's gonna do it? And I'm like, damn, that was like crazy. Cause like we had to do so much stuff, like setting up, breaking down, ordering lunch, picking up lunch, like making sure snacks are out, going pick up furniture and decor for interviews and setting it up, moving out furniture, taking mental snapshots, taking snapshots mentally and physically of an area because we're going to break it down and set it up for an interview, and then we're having to put these people's stuff back how it is because a lot of times we're filming at their house on location. It was just a lot. Helping with the camera and the cameraman, you know, just doing everything that needs to be done. And I was like, man, this is a lot. But I didn't know, like, every show wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be that demanding. And also depending on, like, what your job is. So, that was like in my benefit. It really was in my benefit to have my first show. A show that I was so hands-on with, learning about all the different all the different components that make a TV show a TV show. And this is like my first job out the back, and I'm having to do all of this stuff. Yeah, I was stressful in the moment, and then it was only like 2 production assistants, me and the guy who miraculously just hit me up and say, hey, here's the job opportunity. And he was like super, super weird anyway, like, and I don't like weird people. Like, you know, hey, thank you for the opportunity. You see this? Hey, no hard feelings, but you were really, really weird. Like, just weird. Very, very weird energies. And then, like, weird to the fact of, yeah, that's going to be for a whole nother show. But just weird. Like, weird. Like, not even wanting to work weird. Like, I'm just here and, like, I'm on the show and I have experience and I'm just here to soak up all of this type of weird. And I'm like, God, we're on this show and we got a lot of stuff to do and we don't have no time to stroke your ego and make you feel so great because you just went from one show to another show to another show. That's how weird they were. So I was like, yeah, I don't know how many days I'm going to go with this, but I'm going to try to go through it. But how it happens up is they work like the first couple of days and then they just stopped showing up. Like they say they were sick, didn't even call in, didn't come. And then like the producers and stuff are looking at me because they think we know each other. And I'm like, no, I don't know this person. This person just reached out to me, said they had a job. But then it was just me. It was just left on me to finish the show. And I was like, man, this is crazy. It's like me, the director of photography, the producer, the lighting guy, and the talent. Like it was a very, very small, probably like 5 of us. But like still, I have to do all of this stuff. Like, you know, make sure they're getting to the airport on time. Make sure I drop off the rental car. Make sure I clean out the hotels. You know, just make sure I send off the footage, you know, to the production home, you know, like just making sure everything get done. And it was like so stressful for me in that moment, but I didn't know that the stress in that moment was going to like set me up for like to be a freaking badass killer like in the production industry. And I mean, I'm not like just pulling like, you know, like, I'm just so bad. But like, it was just setting me up. So when I got that other opportunity, I knew I was going to be like on. I was going to be like on. And like, nobody was going to be able to tell me shit. Like, I knew that at that point, like when I finished it, and then like when I finished the show, um, like the director of photography was like, I'm gonna have to, like, if you ever need a reference, like, please tell them to call me. And that's the guy who, does the camera. They was like, you did so good on this. Like, they were like, you're gonna be good. And then this is a white guy. It's like, you're gonna be so good at whatever you do, Bo. And if you ever need a word or recommendation or anything, letter or whatever, like, here's my contact, and you reach out, because you were like, you went over and beyond like what you should do. And I was like, in my head, like, just eating all that up, because this is my first time being a production assistant. And then on top of that, I'm on a reality show, skeleton crew. That means I have like all the responsibilities. So it was just like, it was a lot. And I was like, man, but that was my story time. Peace.